So this is some of the different ice that we use here at Little Branch. We'll go from smallest and start with our crushed ice. This is a kind of ice you might use in a shrub or a mojito, Queen's Park Swizzle, etc. Then we're going to move on to a cracked ice, which we use for stirring and also goes in drinks like the Smash or the Caipirinha. This is Tom Collins or Highball Ice. It goes in our tall drinks. This ice we use both for shaking, and it'll also go in our smaller whiskey glasses. So you might get this with an old-fashioned type drink. And this is our massive double old-fashioned ice that'll go in your drink like gin and tonic or bourbon and soda. The crushed ice comes directly from a machine that makes this. It's called Nugget Ice. The cracked ice, we will, using the back of a spoon, as you may have seen, crack some of our shaking ice or even the double old-fashioned ice. The Collins ice we make with an altered mold, silicone mold that's available on the market, which is another silicone mold that we use from the same company to make our shaking ice. The double old-fashioned ice is the last ice that we still hand cut. When I started 10 years ago, we cut everything by hand except the Nugget Ice. This one we get delivered from a 300-pound block. We get delivered slabs of it, and we then cut that down into the shapes you see before you, which is why it's a little bit, each one is unique like a snowflake, but still fits in your glass. The reason someone might want to use a single solid cube like this or for the different types of ice is the demands of each drink. Certain drinks require a crushed ice because you want it to dilute quickly and chill quickly. Usually those are drinks like a mojito, which is a tropical drink. You want it to be very cold, and you're probably not going to linger over that beverage. To the same effect, but maybe a little bit less so, are the drinks like caipirinhas and smashes. You might take a little bit longer to drink them, but they are going to water down. You want them very cold. Again, usually warm weather or tropical drinks. We use this Collins spear and this double old-fashioned ice specifically because we've minimized to the greatest extent possible the surface area. That means you can sit with that cube and drink your drink for 10 minutes slowly, and you won't have a watery mess in your glass at the end of the day that doesn't resemble the drink you started with. But rather, you'll have largely the same drink we gave to you with a little bit of melt that hopefully will melt at the same rate that you sip. Shaking with this kind of cube allows us to shake a little bit longer and very hard without watering your drink down too much, at the same time as giving us that really nice froth and the crystalline layer of ice across the top of your drink. Crushed ice you can make using any ice you might have at home. Put it in a large plastic bag and break it with the back of a spoon or a rolling pin or whatever you feel comfortable hitting your ice with. Cracked ice you can hit with the back of a spoon again, just to a lesser extent. You're already making ice at home probably if you have some ice pans in your freezer or maybe an ice maker. You can just as easily go out and buy some of these silicone molds from any of your home supply stores, and if not, use a muffin mold or a cake pan, or in a worst case scenario, you can use a bread pan, freeze the water in here, and crack it up by hand. The best possible way to get clear ice, which you'll see here, is to freeze the ice as slowly as possible and as close to the freezing temperature as possible. Because we have to serve a couple hundred people every night, we can't take the luxury of freezing our ice very slow. We have to freeze it between opening and the next day's opening. So you'll sometimes see this little burst pattern in here. And you'll also see that when you freeze something in really cold temperature, it'll explode white in the middle. What you can do at home is turn your freezer down to its lowest setting, meaning its warmest setting. The compressor is working the least amount possible so that it's just below freezing, and allow the trays to sit in there over the course of 1 or 2 days.